After dark, baby.
Don't do it.
Let's talk about the officiating in the Watford match. I feel like that official had no fucking control. Calling the yellow card against Saul in the 15th minute. There were two fouls about 5 minutes after that actually warranted a yellow, but no, just normal fouls. Even the one that Alonso committed, that probably could have been a yellow. Ekong, their center back, he should have been fucking gone from the game after he put Christian into the boards. And the fact that he didn't do anything for dissent when Tom Cleverley and Ekong was all over his ass for majority of the game, and Sissoko is the captain. The fuck is he doing? He didn't give fucking Cleverley a card for dissent until literally 30 seconds before he was taken off. I feel like that game was poorly mismanaged, and I think the yellow against Saul made him very hesitant on what he could or could not do for the rest of the match. Like, when you give a yellow in the 15th, like, he better go and studs up into, like, somebody's calf. Like, that warrants a yellow in the 15th minute, possibly a red, but no, he just slightly pulled back on him, and that was it. I didn't like the way that it was managed.
I think English refereeing in general is kind of a shit show. We joke about CONCACAF refereeing, but in England, it's either you are a celebrity, which refs should not be, and so you're above the law.
Michael Oliver and Mike Dean.
Anthony Taylor.
Yes.
Or you are, somebody trying to make a name for yourself again to be on that celebrity status. I think it's a shit show. I don't think any part of English refereeing is legitimate.
I honestly thought that it was terrible. I thought that there was no control over the match at all. Especially if you're going to pull a yellow in the 15th minute, and then you have harder challenge, and that was Saul's first foul, and you have harder challenges that come in 5 minutes after that, and they're just normal fouls. Again, even against Alonso, that probably could have been a yellow easily. Like, you have to have some sort of consistency. I think that is what Premier League is lacking. There is no consistency in what is a foul, what is a yellow. Like, and VAR is obviously a joke, because I was even watching the Villa Leicester game, and I think it was Drewsbury Hall went into the box, got the ball first, and somebody from Villa stepped on his toe inside the box. Nothing. And they did a VAR check. Nothing. I'm like, that's clearly a foul, especially if it's in the midfield. Like, how do you not call
that? Well, go back to our match against United, and Ronaldo going offside on that last one. God forbid he scores there, but that should have been called back. The whole line judge thing where they're told now to wait to make a call because it'll be corrected VAR, like let it play out, is horseshit. Like, referee the game.
It'll be corrected only if they were actually offside, not if they were actually onside but called offside. That's right. The biggest problem. It's got to be two ways. Like, if somebody is onside and you call them offside, you have to be able to review that and let play continue. I don't like the way that they have VAR set up. I know it's new. I know it's a work in progress, but you have to have it run in both ways.
The worst is the fact that they win a corner and then that can't get reversed. But if they would have scored a goal, then that could have been reversed. Like, yeah. Why would that be different? In what scenario? Like, why? I have no clue. That to me is just Like, oh well, just the way we wrote the rule, I guess.
Well, it's like we saw a month ago with that one with I forgot who we were playing, but like somebody was like offside or there was a foul committed. I think it was against Reese or Asby. There was a foul committed, and then 30 seconds later we score, but then they go all the way back to that, and a new entire possession had started. It's like, how far back are you gonna go? I just don't understand it. And to be fair, they don't understand it either. They're still trying to fine tune it, but right now, it is absolute trash.
Yeah, but for as new as it is, man, I've been watching Dutch League last couple matches or last couple weeks, and their VAR checks take 30 seconds. Never a complaint, never a terrible call. Everything seems to line up pretty well, and it's not all about the referees. Only in England do I see people pissed off over who the referee is.
Well, it is about the referees because you could have, even though they're not on the pitch, you could have Mike Dean as your VAR. You could have Michael Oliver as your VAR. And they want to be in control of that. They want that celebrity status. They made that decision. So then it goes to them. They get recognized. That's the part that I hate. So, Collins, you hit that right on the fucking head about Premier League refs wanting to be stars and everything. Even fucking Clattenburg, when he was around. Like, the game was centered around him and what call he was going to make.
No, he's the definition of, he totally milked his role with the Premier League into, he was on TV shows here in the States. He released a book. I believe he hosts a show now over in Britain. Like, he totally milked it. And that's like every referee's wet dream.
Mm-hmm. It's just, who officials the official. That's basically what it comes down to. And nobody at this point. It's there are so many gray areas that it's like, well, are we going by a letter of the law? Are we going by intent? Are we going by, like the run of play? There are so many questions, and it's a different answer every single time with every official. So you can't draw consistency off of that.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of rules that definitely need to be changed. We saw the Reece James handball red card in the United. And so the fact that you get red carded and then a penalty is like that could get addressed. If there's an offside that doesn't get called that results in a corner that can't be reviewed, that seems silly to me. So there's some rules that can get fixed, and then just consistency across the board. That's the refereeing to me has always been, if you're inconsistent, that's the most frustrating thing to everybody, because if you're playing basketball and there's some ticky-tack fouls and that's how they're going to call the game, like, fine, like you have to adjust, right? You have to adjust the way you're playing. You have to kind of dial it back, or if they're letting things go, then you go after it, right? So I just, that to me is always fine, as long as you're consistent. And if you're not, then it causes frustration.
And referees aren't allowed to be interviewed after games. Like, we never hear any kind of thought process. I like the NFL because they explain, exactly what the infraction was over a mic to the entire stadium. But I don't know if you guys watch rugby, but the refs there are mic'd up. You can hear them talking to the players. You can hear them talking to the booth officials. You can hear them talking to the line judges. There's all kinds of accountability there. And Matt, you're spot on. There's none in the Premier League. It's like they're their own separate little club.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird.
Saw the best rugby clip on that ever, where the captain came up to the ref and he was talking to him. And he said, "No, this is what happened." And the ref was like, "Fair point. You're right. I got it wrong. Yeah, you're spot on, mate. And we'll carry on. My apologies." And I was like, that never happens anywhere else, where they listened to the captain. He made a fair point. The ref was wrong, and he said, "Okay, I was wrong, and like let's carry on. My apologies." I was like, "What was this? What universe am I living in right now?" It's awesome.
Right. So
I never see that.
I saw a clip. I I honestly, I don't know his name, but I guarantee you, if you saw this official, bald head, older guy, but he was like the OG of officials. Like he would get in players' faces if they came at him. I think he was in Italy. But this dude, he had no shame. He would go right at players, and like now players can come at you and you have to, be very passive and can't say anything. Oh no, this was the complete opposite. This guy would go at players, and it was wonderful. I personally like that. Go ahead, Collins.
Was it the guy who looks like the Watcher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love him. But like officials now, no, it wasn't, no, blah, blah. Honestly, to slightly defend them, they have a lot of crybabies in football. Let's be honest. Prime example, Tom Cleverley. The way that he bit, yep, that's the guy. Collins is sharing a screen right now. Yeah, that guy. An absolute legend. He gave zero fucks about anything. He would storm right at a player. If they talk back to him, he would go right at him face to face, forehead to forehead. Love the man. I think we need more of that, especially when we look at Cleverly and a Kong in the Watford match. And granted, I had just watched the Watford match before potting. The amount that those two talked, especially a Kong after his yellow, he had already gotten carded, and he was still in the official's face for 2 minutes. And then the captain, Sissoko, came over for 2 minutes. Like, that has to be something. Like, I understand you don't want to kick him out of the game. Fine. I understand that. But then 15 minutes later, he puts Christian into the boards. I've seen that be yellow carded. I've seen that be red carded. There wasn't even a foul. Just a throw in for Watford. Consistency. That's the only thing I ask. And referees, please. Like, yes, you can defend yourselves. You can be like, shut the fuck up. Stop crying, get on with the fucking game, and get your shit done. Right now, I feel like referees aren't allowed to do that, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest.
Well said.
The only thing I'd add is just consistency too, or not consistency, transparency. I like that the NBA kind of releases their like final 2 minutes report every game. And so they will acknowledge when they made a mistake and sort of those critical game moments. I think we need more consistency, especially in one of the more corrupt sports on the planet where there's other influences that come up and get talked about a lot. So I think the more transparent you can be about the process and mic'd up situations, things like that helps out. Never hurts.
Also, who is our official? I think this is the first time I've ever seen him.
I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah, I have no idea who this guy was. Younger guy, but he, rough game.
His best.
It's the only way I can say it. Rough game for him.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
All right.
Later.
All right, man.
All right. Later, brother. Yeah, that was probably one of the more frustrating games I've watched. That Watford one.
Oh, yeah.
West Ham, I mean, at least it was entertaining. I mean, as a neutral fan, yeah, it's entertaining.
Right. I got a topic for you that we didn't cover. Yeah. Revisiting Christensen versus Rudy. Who do you keep? because you and me have debated about this already, but
and we're gonna probably keep debating until one of them gets signed,
right?
And then we'll debate even more.
I think freezing Christensen out has exposed Christensen. First of all, he looks like an asshole in negotiations because the club leaked exactly what they offered, exactly what had happened, and he just looks like an asshole. And then then you freeze him out, and you welcome him back, without signing a new contract, and he plays so soft in defense that the guy I've never fucking heard of, Jared Bowen or whatever his name is,
yep,
is able to score and plays so loose on that cross shot that it was even allowed into the box. Stick a foot out, get in his face. Dude's standing there for like 10 seconds. Go get him.
So if we look at the sum of everything, right? If we compare, so right now you're looking at one game against West Ham where nobody fucking played well. Let's be honest about that. Watford, he actually played pretty well. I think he played pretty well, considering he was one of the only people that was legitimately out there and had to defend, aside from Rudiger and Chalaba. Like, I thought that the back line actually did pretty well. I thought Christensen was actually pretty good as far as like distribution and getting out of dangerous spots. I thought he was pretty good. But we're talking about the West Ham game. And keep in mind, he hasn't played in damn near a month.
No. Let's see. Played on. Oh yeah, shit, it was a month.
Yeah, he hadn't played in damn near a month.
November 6th to December 2nd.
Like, what do you expect out of him? He hadn't played in a month, and he doesn't have chills. He's going in with a makeshift midfield at best. How do you expect him to do that when he hasn't been playing? That to me, that's a tough ask.
I'm not talking about like his distribution or
I'm just saying
anything like that. I'm saying, like, dude, you come back and clearly now, like, you're gonna have to fight for a spot because the club raised their double middle fingers to you, and you're gonna play 6 feet off your guy consistently. Basically allow 2 out of those 3 if we're not assigning Mendy any blame for that last one. Like, it, dude, you got to be better. And honestly, it looked like Christensen before Tuchel came in. It looked like Christensen under Frank, where people were like, dude needs to be sold or cut. Well, and so I'm now all on board with you and Parks, and that, like, if you're gonna pay one of them, you pay Rudy.
And again, like, we're talking about one game where before, if you go before the freeze out, we were thinking Christensen was one of the best center backs that we had with how consistent he played. Then he got froze out because of contract. Now he's trying to come back in. Like, yeah, like, you got to knock off some rust. Like, I can understand that. Like, we have to look at this in the context of one game, not necessarily a whole body of work. Because if you look at the whole body of work, he's been one of our best center backs, arguably better than Chalaba.
You want to know what? I'm going to counter that, though, because I'm looking back through his match record. 2 out of his last 3 have been clunkers. He was responsible for the goal at Burnley. I'm remembering this now when Jay Rodriguez chipped that ball into Vidra.
Oh,
Christensen was nowhere near where he was supposed to be on that.
He was playing covering for someone.
It was him and Silva, and Silva took the inside. The ball went high and deep where Christensen was supposed to be, and Christensen wasn't there, and it was a free goal. So that's
He's also how old? 23.
Christensen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Andreas Christensen. He is 25. So I mean, if you're looking at him and Rudiger, I mean, I guess if you're going to play the long game, Christensen, but Rudiger's 28. That's not that big of a gap. So if you're going to,
if he can play until he's Thiago Silva,
yeah, if you're going to pay equal money to one out of the two, if you got to pick, I think honestly it's got to be Rudiger.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not changing my stance. I still think that we pay Rudiger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not on board of the let's get rid of Christensen. Let's find a number that actually makes sense, but let's make sure that we pay Rudiger first and then Christensen can deal with his shit. Another thing, let's start making contracts about results because our front three, whoever you throw out there, they are not earning their keep right now. Fucking take shit out of their contract and give it to Christensen so we can pay them both.
Well, I mean, half the problem there is we can't develop a striker through the academy. I mean, you got Tammy, I guess, but you got Broha's going to come back on loan. But outside of that, we've had to buy all of our attackers for the
Patrick Bamford.
Yeah. Okay.
Patty Bams. Did you see the goal that he had?
I did.
Today?
But I mean, if you look back at it, it's like 7 years of us having to buy attackers because we can't develop any. You got Cho and you had Tammy.
And Tammy did well for about 6 months.
Yeah. So you're going to have to pay crazy money to sustain that. So I get that, but that's their problem. They can't develop any attackers.
So I think you might have asked me this. Haaland or Lewandowski? If we can get one, who do you want?
They're both great. Preface it with that. Lewandowski's more of the sure bet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like you look at the NFL draft this year, and it was like the big debate was Mac Jones or Justin Fields. Mac Jones has the higher floor. Justin Fields has the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just with our track record of bringing in young strikers, I think Haaland's great. He'd probably do fine, but there's like in the back of my mind, it's like screaming at me like, no, take the sure bet.
Yeah.
So I think I'd take Lewandowski.
He's 31.
That's a good question.
He's 31. You sign him on what? A 2-year?
33. So they'd probably sign him on a 1.
But he's also turning up the Bundesliga, which, let's be honest, so did Timo. So
yeah, but Timo did it for a season and a half. Lewandowski's been doing it for a decade.
Well, he's also playing in a shit league with the best team that keeps winning that fucking trophy year in and year out.
That's true. But I mean, that you can make that comparison to Haaland too. He's playing for usually the best team in a shit league, scoring goals. Like, that's why when people say like, "Oh, we're going to sign Jude Bellingham," I'm like, why?
No, let him go to fucking United and get sold in like a year and a half.
Right.
I forgot who else. Oh, did you see the rumor that if we don't get Rudiger, we're gonna try and bring in Marquinhos?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that either.
I mean, you have that partnership.
Everything good?
Fucking Mario Party.
Nice.
God damn it. No, but I mean, you have the relationship between him and Tuchel and also him and Thiago Silva.
Right.
It's not a bad option. It's really not.
Yeah. I mean, he's what, 27, 28? No?
I think he's almost 30.
27. See,
we'll go. Well, there. You can get rid of Christensen and Rudiger. There's your middle ground. You bring in a 27-year-old, sign him on a 5-year deal. I don't know if he's going to be a free transfer. He might be.
No, I saw 70 million.
Well, if you can sell Rudiger for whatever, and then you keep Christensen and Chalobah, who just signed a 5-year, and then you have Marquinhos as well. You figure out what to do with Sarr. I mean, it's not bad.
Here's
Or
my
you get Koundé.
Yeah, here's my thinking. You let Christensen and Rudiger walk. Use
Both?
that money. You go get.
You let
have
both walk?
What?
You let both walk?
Let both walk.
Oof.
You're gonna sell. You're gonna keep trimming the fat off the club. Ross Barkley's gonna go to Newcastle for an inflated price.
Yep.
Honestly, either Ziyech or Pulisic will probably go. Timo will probably go. Like, you're gonna have money to splash. And then you got Silva and Chalobah and Malang Sarr in the back. And you go out and you get De Ligt and Kwande for 100.
200.
Nah.
De Ligt, they're asking over 100 for him.
Not if they get relegated, like is what I'm hearing. Then you're getting
working up from Serie B.
Yeah, right. I mean, then you're getting two 22-year-olds for 150 mil on 5-year deals.
And what about Marquinhos in that? If that is an option, do you try and get rid of Malang Sarr to get Marquinhos?
I'd make Marquinhos and De Ligt interchangeable.
22 versus 27.
Yeah, well, just because of price tag. I think Kwande you're going to be able to get for 45, 50.
What about what's his nuts has been labeled with the club for like 3 years? Koulibaly.
I don't know.
Stay with Napoli.
Yeah, Napoli doesn't like to deal with us. I don't see him ever coming here.
Yeah, it's because we took Sarri and Jorginho from him.
Yeah, right.
So they're pissed.
But I mean, even if you wanted to go get Wesley Fofana from Leicester, like what I'm seeing for like 25 mil.
I mean, we do have good success with Leicester, except for Danny Drinkwater, but
yeah, right.
AKA the new Jorginho. I'm sorry. As soon as I saw that meme, I had to send it. It was so good.
I mean, that's another guy you might sell, and especially if you're bringing back Gallagher and Gilmore. You could probably sell, if you want to cash in on Jorginho, you could probably get close to 100 mil for him.
Mm-hmm. Send him back to fucking Italy. Send him back to Juve.
Right.
Hey, tell you what, we'll do. I'm okay with this. I will do a swap. I will do Chiesa for Jorginho, straight up.
I take it.
And then we'll pay 30 mil for Weston McKennie.
I don't want that. I don't want those problems.
Bring him in. Him and Christian? Oh, yeah.
No, go sign Pepe from Dallas.
Yeah. What is it? Ricardo Pepe or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep. Also, did you see that NYC FC beat Philadelphia tonight? Or today?
Yeah, dude, I'm so pissed. The MLS final is garbage. Mainly because I hate both those clubs.
When's the other game? Is it tomorrow? The Western Conference final?
No, Portland won yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
And they weren't playing Seattle. They were playing
No, they were
who beat Seattle?
Salt Lake.
Yes. Thank you. I watched the game. I was like, I can't remember who the fuck it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, what?
Freiburg beat Mönchengladbach today, 6-0.
Yeah, I saw it. I was flipping through the scores, and it was like 37th minute. They were up 6-0.
Oh,
That's
Everton Arsenal tomorrow. That'll be fun. Go Everton.
Right.
Did you see that their director of football is resigning?
Who's that?
Everton's football or director of football, Marcel Brands.
That club is just like rapid decline.
Well, and of course they were talking about it with Robbie and of course Tim Howard, and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
Right.
And they're just like, well, people have wanted Rafa gone for a while because they haven't been playing well, and new ownership that came around in 2018, and they've spent all this money trying to bring in players, and it's a difference between the owner, the director, and the manager. One of them has to go, and so apparently the Marcel Brands, the director, just like resigned or whatever, effective immediately.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. I mean, the fans don't like Rafa because of his Liverpool connections, but he's a good manager. So yeah,
except when he's with Chelsea.
Hey, he won. What was it, the Europa League with us?
I don't know. All I know is that you were always down with Rafa or something like that. What was your hashtag? Rafa out?
Rafa out. Yeah, let's see. Rafa Benitez won 28 out of his 48 matches as an interim manager. Doesn't say. Anyways, yeah, no. And you see, Emanalo is not taking the position at Newcastle.
Who?
Michael Emanalo. He was our technical director for a while. He was the guy who, like, pretty much, he was in Marina's position before Marina.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one who sanctioned the signing of De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Hazard, and Courtois, and all them. He's the one who built up the academy. Yeah. So Newcastle offered him a position on the board with a chance to be their technical director, and he turned it down because he didn't agree with the vision of the club. All right.
Well, they just want to be essentially fucking PSG and just splash money and buy everything. I was reading an article, like the five players that Newcastle are looking to sign to make an impact. It was Ross Barkley, Jesse Lingard, Harry Winks, I think James Madison was on there.
Buy low. That's a good one.
And then, who was the other one? Might have been like Harvey Barnes.
Okay. So basically they want to be the West Ham, the new West Ham.
Yeah, I was like, it's not bad, but I was watching the Newcastle game on yesterday. I almost died. It was fucking hysterical. They're talking about Jonjo Shelvey. They said something along the lines of like, the most crucial part of this team, Jonjo Shelvey. I'm like,
I mean,
I love me some Jonjo.
They're not wrong.
Well, it's also Newcastle, so.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. They've got a couple things working against them. One is that they're going to get relegated. So who's going to want to come to play in the championship next year?
Well, they did just win though.
Yeah,
they just won yesterday over a struggling Burnley team.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't see how they stay up. But then on top of that, yes, they have like crazy amount of money if they oblige by FFP,
which is an absolute fucking joke, but yeah, sure.
Then it's like over the next 2 years they have, because of what Mike Ashley did, they have like $178 million over 2 years to spend. So they're not going to be bringing in Neymar and
No, they're not going to bring in somebody like that, but they're going to bring in like 50-60 million dollar signings. I mean,
yeah,
you can easily bring that in. Like that's no problem. Even somebody for like 20 or 30.
right.
Tell you what, if they pay us, I will give them Jorginho.
Yeah, that's fair.
120 mil, I'll sell them on the cheap.
Would you package Barkley and Jorginho for 120 mil?
I'll throw in. I'll sell Ross for 120 mil and give Jorginho as a kicker.
And a swap deal for Jonjo Shelvey.
Yes, please give me Jonjo so he can get red carded in his first match. 20 minutes in.
Right.
Oh, I would love that. I love Jonjo. It's just so much fun to watch because you know that every single challenge is. It's up for debate whether it's going to be a red card or not.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always a big fan. All right, bro. I'm gonna head out because I have an exhausting 3-day work week coming up. So
yeah, man, sounds good. I'm off next 2 days, so deuces.